Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everybody. Every time I talk with her, I learn another aspect of what she does. And ultimately, everything she does is to help others and move their life forward. Doesn't matter what age they are. She is a spiritual, personal, relationship business coach, does hypnotherapy, has done workshops, books, speaking, meditations, so much more. And now we can add to that.
My background is going crazy.
It's going all right. I guess we should add to that children's video extraordinaire, because we're going to share with you another project that she has created where it's animation geared at children, but the message there is universal, and that is kindness, compassion, inclusion, and so much more. Dr. Joanne White is back with us. How are you doing today?
Great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
You know, when you told me about this a while back, I, thought, all right, yeah, cool. Just animation for kids, a show for them, kids adventure. I had no idea the magnitude and the quality and the message and everything involved in Sammy the Squirrel. I thought it was going to be good. I didn't know it was going to be that good. Amazing. Like, I got to tell you, out of the gate, it's like, big
But
stuff.
it's not just for kids. I mean, I actually play it to make myself feel good. So sometimes, when I'm down, whatever. But there's a backstory to it, Steve. I had squirrel in my attic. And so I wrote a poem about the squirrel and the protagonist, and they're having a conversation. And she says, why are you in my attic? And he says, well, it's a good place and you're kind. You give us food, you feed the birds and me, and us, and you don't use that space. So the whole thing went on, and
Wow.
but that's not what so that just was the end of the poem. Basically, the squirrel decides that he really has to leave because he's trying to set up a whole place for his heartthrob Squirrel Lee and their future babies and whatever. And finally he decides, it's not right to just be in a place you're not invited. And so she gives him nuts along the way, and da 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 da. But person I'm working with on a lot of different projects, who's an incredible Orgina Rose. She's a musician, she's an actress, we're working on several different projects. I read it to her and she said, I love it. Let's figure out something. So I've been writing this series and she's been working with the songs and the animation, and we have the first season of
Wow.
Sam and Squirrel Lee. And that's exciting. And all their incredible adventures. The goal, Steve, like you said, is they spread kindness, compassion. We won't be able to see the video today, but the first video with the song are all these animals, all these different animals that are with Sammy. The bears are playing music. They're playing guitars. And so the whole idea is also about bringing people and animals and everybody together and recognizing that too. So
Well, we're going to play this right now so you can check it out. I think it's amazing. Here we go.
Sammy the squirrel, so quick and spry, leaps through the trees, touching the sky. With a nut in his paws and a twinkle in his eyes, Sammy's adventures are flying by. Oh, Sammy the squirrel, watch him go, dancing on branches to and fro. With a flip and a twist, he's the forest hero. Sammy the squirrel, the star of the show. Sammy the squirrel, the star of the show.
All right. I got to tell you, even the animation is like Pixar quality. Like this is not just well, let's see if we can get this going. Like whoa, and just the positive vibe and the smile on the faces of the characters. I'm amazed. Joanne, when did this begin for you, this journey? How far back did this start?
It's probably about a year and a half.
Okay. Wow.
Okay.
And how did
And I'm still trying to figure out how to get squirrels out of my attic. But
well,
wait, you
there,
want to know something funny? One thing funny. As I walk around and do my power walks, I'm calling Sammy, Sammy to the squirrels, hoping that one day, Steve, one of the squirrels is going to turn around and stare and stop instead of running away. So that will be very special when that happens.
just we'll get to the messages here and everything involved, but this is you working. How do you say your name, or Gina?
Or Gina Rose. Yeah,
Hmm.
she's, like I said, a musician, an actress. She's incredible. She
Yeah.
has the Divine Spirit Network, which is, you know, does a lot of different things, work with a lot of famous people.
And in terms of the animation, how did you get that part done?
She's working with a team and putting that together based on, what our collaboration and what we saw together in terms of making it happen.
Are you involved in the um, formulation of the episodes, the direction that it goes in?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
definitely.
Wow. That's this what you do is great. You've been doing it for decades, many. This is just like a fun project that is so robust. That's my word. I mean, it's, I when you again when you told me about it, I was like, yeah, that sounds good. Had no idea until I saw the video that I could be in a movie theater and this could be again a Disney Pixar kind of production, and it would fit. I mean, in terms of the animation, it's that quality. What are what are the messages that you want people to take away from Sammy the Squirrel?
So what's really important is that Sammy, firstly, he meets Squirrel Lee. They fall in love. And together they're out in not only in the forest, but they're helping other animals. They actually save a rabbit in one of the episodes. And it's about spreading kindness and compassion, and also a little bit about inclusion, because you'll see when the people see the animation, all the animals are together. It's not just squirrels, it's rabbits, it's birds, it's bears, it's, whatever. And it's really important. And we need more, not we need more kindness, more compassion, more love, more joy, all of that, not only in ourselves, but in our world. And I've done a lot of research on kindness and compassion, and basically what it does to us is it really helps increase our self-esteem. It
Hmm.
helps us feel good in a healthy way. It lowers anxiety, it lowers stress. It can actually help us feel more of a sense of calm. It can also help, it does something with the brain too, so that it can create more positivity within ourselves. And when we're giving other people kindness and compassion, it creates more of a sense of connection with other people, and
Hmm.
a sense of belonging, and just it's just beautiful. There's so much more to it, but that's some of it.
Kindness, I believe, overall nowadays is missing, or a good to a great degree, because people aren't as kind as I believe they can be. And I get there's a lot of stress. People working side jobs. There's a lot going on here where sometimes you're just getting to the next step or getting to the next job or whatever it might be. Um, but if we just took a moment to just consider others in any way, wow, what a difference the world might be.
Exactly. Just yesterday I was going to the supermarket, and this woman who really had trouble walking, she said, would you like the basket? And first I thought no, but she was offering it to me because she really didn't want to bring it back. and have trouble walking. So I said, sure. She said, oh, thank you so much. I mean, I could
Hmm.
have gotten one of those anywhere, but it was like it helped her. And a few weeks ago, I might have told this to you too. Was at another supermarket, and this woman was walking really, really slowly to the entrance. And I said, do you need some help? She said, oh, that would be wonderful. And I took her arm and I escorted her to the inside and helped her. And she said, I just fell a few weeks ago and
Mm.
I'm really nervous about walking. And I just appreciate so much what you did. Now, what did it take? A minute, if that? And it made me feel good, like I was doing something. It made her feel good. And
Mm.
and you're so right. Firstly, it doesn't take that much to reach out to people. It really doesn't, Steve. And you and I know that. And it could change somebody's day, it could change somebody's mood. It elevates us too. It makes us feel good. It makes us feel that we've done something, we've accomplished something, no matter how big or small. And it really, like you said so beautifully, it really makes a difference and can shift our world. There is a lot of anger and hatred and looking at people in terms of their differences rather than embracing, if we didn't have differences, our world would be pretty boring, right?
Mm.
So look at that in a way and see how that can blend in beautifully and celebrate each other and ourselves. It, like I said, and like you said, it doesn't take much, but why not? What Here's my question. What's stopping us? What's keeping us from reaching out to others? Is it fear? Is
Yes.
it we're so concerned with our own lives that we're not taking a moment for somebody else?
I think I know what the answer is.
Okay, what is it?
And and side note, we never know what somebody's going through. And
Right.
just one simple act of kindness, one comment to somebody. Let's say you're at a Starbucks and the barista did a great job on your coffee, your drink, and you're like, this is really good. Then tell them. And if their hair looks, your hair looks really good, like it fits your face, whatever it might be, you don't know. You may be saving their life. You have no idea. You might just bring them back by that one comment. But I really feel, yes, we're wrapped up in our own lives, and I get that. I feel we're uncomfortable because society has made us that way, where you want to reach out to somebody, but you don't want to be that creepy person. You don't want to be that overbearing person. Not that you would be, but you don't want it to be perceived that way. And then there's rejection. We're all afraid of rejection. So, if you say to somebody, yeah, hey, let me help you out with that. No, I got that. There's a feeling of defeat there for a moment, which we need to get over. But I feel that that's kind of what it is.
I love, and I've mentioned this before, I love going out in the world and making people smile. So, and I don't think it's intrusive. I will say, like you said, your hair is so beautiful, or your dog is amazing. Look at that, and I do that, and people smile, and sometimes they want to engage a little bit more, but it shifts that moment, and it could, like you said so beautifully, it could shift their day, it could make them feel good, and it makes us feel good. And it's so easy. It
Mm.
really is easy.
Well, I want to flip it around now. And this actually, as we're talking about it, you talked about the grocery store. Like 2 years ago, maybe more, I remember being in the store, the freezer aisle, and there was a woman on one of those scooters, and she opens up the freezer and she's trying to get something. And I notice it from like 50 feet away or whatever. And I just run and I jumped over something and poof, I'm right there. I'm like, what can I get you? And I just reach in, get it for her. And I said, "Do you need anything else? I'm not in a rush. I can just walk with you here. Do you want me to grab stuff for you?" She says, "No, I'm good. I got it. But thank you so much." I felt good. So maybe we should reframe this and, to get over your fear of feeling like a creeper or just, getting in somebody's space, do it for yourself. Because when you do things for others, it elevates your feeling, right?
Yes, it does. It makes us feel that we've done something. It makes us feel good inside. And it's a nurturing thing, not just for the other person, but also for us as well.
Mm,
And like I said, it's simple. It's not, we're not reading the whole diary or whole dictionary or whatever it is. It's just one little act. And that can change so much in a person's life, in a person's day. Make them feel noticed, make them feel cared for, make them
mm,
feel that life is not so miserable, whatever, and like you said, people, we don't know what everybody's going through.
mm,
And there's a lot of challenges right now. There's a lot of people that people are going on. So one kind gesture, one moment, or something with compassion can really make a difference. And that's what Sammy and Squirrel Lee are about. So they go through, I don't want to reveal all the episodes, but they're helping other animals, and other animals are noticing it, and part of it, and they feel connected. They're going to get married in the second season, by the way.
mm.
They're
Wow.
going to invite all the animals, and Orgina
I,
and
I
I.
expect an invite, by the way.
Okay, good. Yeah,
I'm
very few,
ordained. I could marry them.
very few. Okay, great. You can marry the squirrels. Great. The bears are going to be playing.
Wow. I just had another thought,
Good.
and maybe this will empower people. And I don't know from a psychological coaching level, maybe you can answer this, but I now end every radio show that I do, and I've been playing music on the radio literally since I was a kid. I have my first paycheck, a lot of years. And I now end every show with be kind to yourself and others. And it's not a talk show. I play music, but over an intro of an 80s song, I will say that. I'm wondering, since we're not kind to ourselves, we beat on ourselves, we would never say the things to to others that we love. We'd never say them to ourselves. We look in the mirror, we think it, maybe we verbally say it. Oh, look at you. Like you got, what's a pimple? Where'd that come from? You look horrible today. Look at you. You're horrible. You wouldn't walk up to somebody else and say that to them. So do you feel that we need to change it up within ourselves to
Yes.
start being kind to us? Because we don't know how to be kind.
We
And
have to be kind, we have to be compassionate, we have to be caring for ourselves, and that's
yeah,
really important. Now, you know my story in terms of my neurodiversity and my mirror writing and not feeling good enough. And it took me, and I was beating myself up literally for years. There's something wrong with you. You can't do anything right. You can't. And now, I mean, I shifted it. So now I say nicer things to myself. I mean, yeah, I'll still see the pimple if you're, but at the same time, I'll say, "Oh, your hair looks nice." Oh,
mm,
and it's fun. It's like having a little bit of a very positive relationship with yourself. It doesn't mean that you don't see the flaws,
mm,
but rather than beating ourselves up or thinking that we're less than, to be able to turn around a little bit and give yourself some kindness, give yourself some compassion. Wow,
yes.
I accomplished a lot today. Thank you. I answer myself too. I'll say thank you. Oh, you're welcome.
Yes.
It's kind of fun. It's
I believe you should do that. You're not crazy. I'm not crazy. We're not crazy. It's you have to have a relationship with yourself because and goes right back to that notion that you need to love yourself before you can love others.
right.
And until you realize it, until you know, you don't know. But once you hit that, then it's like, oh wow, that life is different. And to your point of picking yourself apart, um, I was at the gym. It's like last year. I still remember it. And I did the same thing. Like, look at that on your face. But then I passed by a full length mirror. And then I said, well, when I look at the total sum, it's not as bad as focusing on one pimple. And
Right.
yes, I got, pounds to lose and all of that, whatever. But I saw it in a different way. I saw that the big picture, if you will, as opposed to looking at the little picture, the zit or the hair out of place and all that. Um, just a thought I'm sharing because I kind of reframed things a little bit for me.
Right. And you know what? Maybe part of our day at the end of the day is to be able to tell ourselves, and I do that a lot with my clients who feel
Hmm.
badly about themselves. Tell yourself something nice. Tell yourself something that you accomplished today.
What was your
Make
win?
yourself at the end of the day. Yeah, that's important. That can make us feel really good about ourselves. And again, when we're helping other people, when we're being kind and compassionate to other people, it also elevates our mood too. It also makes us feel good and it makes us feel worthwhile. And we are worthwhile. It's not what you're doing and if you have all these degrees or whatever. It's really how you're putting yourself out in the world with other people and also with yourself. And it's important to have a relationship with yourself. I mean, I can, like I said, talk to myself, make jokes, which years ago I could never ever do, but it lightens the day. It's like,
Hmm.
oh, you look so nice. Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It works though. It
Yeah, it's
it
and it's
does.
fun and it's silly. And nobody else is listening.
Right, right. Yeah. You mentioned the word inclusion before, and yeah, we have different view of that word. Um, Based on the direction that we're talking today, how do you describe inclusion?
Well, I want to describe it in terms of Sammy a little bit. So what
Sure.
happens is like Sammy is not just inviting squirrels and participating with squirrels. Sammy looks out for everybody, all the other animals, and doesn't see the differences as much as seeing, how we can get along together. And that's really important. And so inclusion is about, again, don't oftentimes we will alienate somebody because they're different, whether they speak differently, they think differently, they walk differently, they're, different race, what culture, whatever it is. So inclusion is about acceptance. Again, what we were talking about earlier is it's so much more one, yeah. Hello. I need more coffee and I'm getting excited. It's so much better to bring people together than to alienate them. And when you do, like even in a business, you can see the contributions that different people can make based on their history, their culture, their experiences that can really bring the group together that can really do something wonderful for business and really feel good about who we are. Life can be bland if everybody's the same, if we wore the same clothes, if we spoke the same, if we dress. So embrace differences. Now, inclusion is important because when I was working with kids with special needs and autism, because of their differences, Steve, many of these kids were left out of school, were not allowed to be in playgrounds, were not, there's even a true story when I was younger, and my mother and I went into a diner and there was a little girl and her mom and the girl was in a wheelchair in front of us and the waitress refused, looked beyond her to my mother and me and my mother said, wait a minute, there's, they're ahead of us, and she said, well, we don't serve people like that. So my mother took
Wow.
we left.
No
I mean, that
words.
was a very right, right. But that, it goes back years ago, but that was the thinking, the very narrow thinking, because you're different. And, who's to say this little girl could have been a genius or a singer or, or contributing something beautiful to our world. And by doing that, the girl heard her too. I mean,
Uh,
she heard what that person said. That was horrible
no
and
words.
unfair.
Completely. And I heard something recently that, and they did research on this, that it's less than an eighth of a second when we see somebody new, we've judged them in less than an eighth of a second, and we make a determination, good, bad, whatever it might be. And let's say it's somebody from another culture, and you just look and you might feel a threat for a moment just because of that's the way we're wired and programmed. You've already made your decision in that short amount of time, which is horrible. Then how about talking to that person, realizing, well, they're really nice, they're really cool, they have some, interesting viewpoints, and Yeah. This is fantastic what you're doing with Sammy. And if somebody wants to learn more about it, where are we at that? Let's say it's a parent that wants to include their kid in it. Like, what do they do?
Okay, so firstly, sorry, I didn't turn the I hope you don't hear the phone, but okay, good. Um, I was hoping you guys were going to put up the link,
Sure.
so go
What
to
would that link be? Is that the
okay,
YouTube link or
so
what?
yeah, youtube.com/, the little at symbol, Sammy the Squirrel Show.
Gotcha. Okay. And a lot of the episodes are there. Just
The episodes are there, the songs are there. There, the last episode, well, I can't give it away. I want to. I really want to. You can see.
it's
Well,
good.
I'll say one thing. There's a forest fire, and Sammy and Squirrely get animals together to help take care of it.
Wow. Wow. Uh, I'm excited for you because I feel when you do a project like this, it's wide open. Like anything can really go. Like you can write, a direction. I have a clean slate. What are we gonna do for the next episode? Fantastic. Thank you for sharing it, Joanne. Really great stuff. There it is again. And I wish you all the well with it. And we're going to talk more about it. This is really good stuff. We need this in our lives right now. By the way, share your website too, if somebody wants to find you.
So Dr. Joanne White, Joannewhite.com.
Excellent. Thank you so much for today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Sammy the squirrel, so quick and spry, leaps through the trees, touching the sky, with a nut in his paws and a twinkle in his eyes. Sammy's adventures are flying by. Oh, Sammy the squirrel, watch him go, dancing on branches to and fro, with a flip and a twist, he's the forest hero. Sammy the squirrel, the star of the show. Sammy the squirrel, the star of the show.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.